Hey, so today we're going to be talking about the absolute basics of foundation, like why you use it. If you didn't see my previous video in this series, I guess, the absolute basics of, maybe, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I talked about primer. That would probably be helpful to watch, but now we're going to be talking about foundation, so let's just do it. So why do you wear foundation? Like, what is the point of it? So believe it or not, the point of foundation is not to just provide a ton of coverage on your face. Like if you, for instance, have rosacea or you have acne or whatever, I don't know, anything, blackheads, whatever. The point of foundation is not to create this like flat layer of coverage over your face. The point of foundation, whether it's more full coverage or more lightweight, is to create a cohesive tone throughout your face. I actually have pretty even toned skin, but it's very normal to get some redness around your nose. Around, I have discoloration like around my mouth. I tend to get like darkness down here around the corners of my mouth. Obviously, I have, redness from breakouts around my temples. So you have like all these varying colors in your face, whether it's red or green or yellow. Those are like the basics, So foundation is basically just like a one layer to create a cohesive color throughout your face. Now, when it comes to choosing a foundation, I would say the most important thing is, well, two of the most important things are knowing your skin tone, your undertone, and also knowing your skin type. There are plenty of foundations out there that are very versatile, that work for multiple types of skin. Some of the ones that I would recommend are the Dominique Cosmetics Micro Silk Foundation. She doesn't have a huge shade range, but this formula is fantastic. Looks like skin, very silky, and it does exactly what you want it to do. It creates that cohesive color throughout your face without putting too much down, without making it feel like very, very heavy. Another one that I really love is the Rare Beauty foundation. This is maybe ever so slightly more dewy. I would say that this is like more of a natural satin kind of finish. Rare Beauty is a little bit more lightweight, slightly less coverage. Slightly less coverage. No, maybe about the same. But it is a little bit more dewy. So if you have oily skin, it might be a little too hydrating for you. A new one that I just recently started using that I really like, that's pretty full coverage, is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream Color Correcting Full Coverage Natural Finish Foundation, or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a CC cream. And it also has SPF 30, which is really nice. And they do have a pretty extensive shade range. But it does have like quite a bit of coverage. So if you feel like you have a lot of discoloration in your face, this might be a good option. But I also find that as far as natural, it might tend to lean a little bit more dewy. Now, when it comes to understanding your undertone, your skin tone in general, it's not easy. It's real hard. I, for instance, if you happen to be new, I'm very fair, and I have an olive undertone. And my skin tends to look very yellowy. So when in doubt, I tend to go for a little bit more of the fair yellow foundations. That's probably like served me best. The only advice that I can give you, because it is so incredibly difficult and I've tried to make a million videos about like how to determine your undertone, the best advice I can give you is, if you're able to swatch things at Sephora or Ulta, go into a store, swatch a bunch of colors that you think are close, remember what they are, let them sit, let them oxidize, let them dry down or settle or whatever. Go outside into natural light and compare them to your skin. That's the best way to choose the correct foundation. You want something obviously that's going to like melt. My body and my face are like pretty much the same color. I would say the back of my neck is like maybe a little bit more tan, but I can like swatch on my wrist and I can get a pretty accurate color comparison there. You can use your neck. Basically just, you want it to be like, I use this word all the time and it's so annoying, cohesive with like the rest of your body. So that's the best way to choose the right color, in my opinion, is actually swatching. Because website descriptions, website swatches, they are so hard to get, Like you see this arm, I don't know how tan that arm is. I don't know what the lighting is like. It's not helpful. Another really great tip is to just compare to your friends. I've used this example before, but I have a friend who is just as fair as me, but she's incredibly pink. Like her skin tone is so pink and she has a blue undertone. So when I put my arm next to her, I look like a green banana, a slightly underripe banana, you know? So I was like, oh, I get it. You know, it's a lot easier if you're like comparing your skin. And once again, do it in natural light. That's the best way to determine your true skin tone. When it comes to finish, I think priming is probably one of the best things. So I will have that video linked somewhere. But you know, if you tend to be much more oily, obviously a more matte foundation is going to be best for you. And if you tend to be very, very dry, then something that's going to be more dewy is going to be better. There's a lot of different foundations, so many different colors, so many different types. Everyone has different skin. Unfortunately, a lot of this is going to be trial and error. Like you do actually have to put some work into it, unfortunately. I can't just tell you everything. That's what I've learned. So I just want to show you how I apply. Oh, you know what? Quickly. So if you are having a really hard time, like for instance, because I'm fair skinned and I'm olive, there are fewer choices when it comes to foundations and concealers, but mostly foundations for people of my skin tone. For whatever reason, companies think that all olive skin is more like tan. So I have found that mixing a color correcting liquid in with my foundation has really helped when I pick up a foundation that doesn't quite match. So for instance, I've already mixed this a little bit, but this is one of my favorite foundations, the Elsie one. But this is in the shade Cameo, and if you pick this up, it's like pretty neutral, but it's like close-ish to my skin tone. So I actually mix in the Makeup Forever redness corrector. I used to recommend the one from NYX, which was a little bit more affordable. I think it was like $13, but they discontinued it. Like why? But these are really good. They have a bunch of different colors. They have yellow, pink, purple, I think. I think they have blue. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they have blue. But they have a bunch of different colors. So if you feel like you have a foundation, you love the formula, but it just doesn't work with your skin tone, you can pick these up and they'll help. So obviously, like if it's more neutral, it ends up looking a little bit more pink on me. So that's why I pick up the green to neutralize the like red in it. So it looks a little bit more olive. And if I feel like it ends up being a little bit too ashy colored and it needs a little more warmth, then I will add, I had to grab it, the yellow one. That's a little bit more like advanced, but I can talk about that in depth if you want. I guess I'm gonna use this today. So today I'm looking pretty hydrated. So I'm gonna use my Elsie one because it's a little bit more on the natural finish. It's not going to like make me look super oily. It's got a little ball in here so you can shake it up. So I'm actually gonna use, I have this little, I haven't used this yet. I should clean it. I should probably clean it. But I've got this little like mixing palette. So I already mixed a little bit of that green color correcting liquid in here in the bottle. Like I poured out a little bit of foundation and I mixed it in. But it's not quite there yet. It's just not quite there yet. So I'm gonna pump out a little bit on my, it's a brand new one, so and I'm gonna add a little bit of my liquids. I'm gonna pick that up with my little Makeup Forever sponge. And like I said, the reason for foundation is to create, not to cover up your whole face, but to create a cohesive color throughout your face. So we're helping to create one base color, and then you can build on top of that and build up more coverage in the areas that you need with concealer and pinpoint concealing. But that's going to be in a different video. I probably should have done half and half. Why do I never think to do that? Oh yeah, and you can use like sponges or brushes, obviously. Maybe I can do a video on that. I prefer wet sponges. I just feel like it gives me the best application and finish. All right, see? So now you can still see breakouts, but my skin overall, like we've minimized redness and darkness in certain areas, but we haven't completely covered up my skin, and that is the point of foundation. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. If you are a beginner, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for concealer. I'm gonna go bye.